Howdy folks, what's up? What's going on? Just bored, and I thought I had some issues with my Monday night stream with this camera, so I figured I'd run it through a test after I changed some cables on it. So why not, right? Nothing better to do. How you guys doing? Let's see what's up going. Let's see. Stream looks like it's okay on this end, but hope everything is good with you. Quentin, what's going on, Quentin? I see you're up. And R2, what's going on, R2? No, you weren't first. See, look, Quentin beat you. Sorry, brother. You're still second, and you own a Les Paul, so maybe that moves you up the list. I don't know if Quentin owns a Les Paul. You need a Les Paul to get up on that list. I'm just kidding, guys. It's all good. Ben Kuhn, what's up, brother? Just watched your stream about, what was it, an hour ago or so? Good stuff, good stuff. Scott Connor, hey man. Same. Will Varela, how's it going, Will? Terry, what's going on, brother? Got a lot of people in here right now. Wasn't figuring on getting anybody in here for this Thursday thing. Just kind of quick jumping on and doing a little bit of testing. See if this camera is going to work more than 10 minutes for me, because on Monday I was having issues with it, and so I changed the cable, and we'll see if that works. I don't know. The friggin' thing is like, it's not new, but it's not old, and it's one of the more high-end ones, so it shouldn't crap out like it did the other night. I don't know what was going on. And then my stream started to act funny, and it was all over the place. I noticed at the end of that stream, I watched them back just to see what was going on, and the thing was like, my audio was delayed or something. It was all out of sync at the end of the stream. The beginning of the stream was okay, but I think the last 15 minutes or so was all over the place. So we'll see if this works. I don't know. The cameras should be okay, so I don't know what was going on the other night. But that's why we do these shows and these tests and everything, to make sure we can get it all figured out. Scott Connor, I think I said your name earlier. Denny Allen, what's going on, brother? And we've got Brad Egan's in here tonight. Brad, what are you doing, brother? Not working? Are you working tomorrow, Brad? If you are, I don't know what time you start in the morning, but Ben says, I'm home, I'm fed, all is good. Good stuff, brother. How far do you live from your buddy's place, or you do the show with Richie? You mustn't be that far from him if you're home already. Will says, I own 3 Les Pauls. Does that count? Yes, it counts, very much so. You got to name the 3 Les Pauls you own. Are they all standards? Are they different ones? Classic, traditionals? I always like to know. Brian, how comfortable are those? Well, I find them comfortable, but this one's not a. This one is a Godin strap that I found at Cosmo, and this one's very comfortable. It's kind of got a little bit of a padding on it, and I don't know about these strap locks. So I like them, but they're the Ernie Ball ones, and they work well. It's just that once they're locked in, they're good, but I don't know. They seem to move around in there a little bit. Kind of makes me nervous. But anyway, that's for another day to discussion. But I do have, all my guitars have different straps on them, and a couple of them are the Levi straps, and they're very good. I like them. Ben says, I'm here by proxy borrowing a Les Paul from Will. Right on. Brian, so Terry says, camera looks grainy and low res, but not freaking out like last time. Yeah, no, it's still, the camera's fine for that. It's because when I stream from my house here, the stream or my internet is not the greatest, so I don't push out a very high bitrate stream. So I think the highest quality that you guys are able to turn on your end on your devices would be 480 for this stream. If I ever, like, sometimes I do streams from the studio in Mississauga, and that's got really good internet, so for those ones you know, I can stream at 1080 or whatever if I want, but from here at the house I don't like to risk it. I probably could get 720 without too much of an issue, but it's just really crappy internet out here in the country right now, and I hope that they give us proper internet at some, you know, sometimes. But the government mandated something, I think this year or late last year, they put it into law that rural households would all have high speed by 2000, I think it's 2025 or whatever it is, but you know, that's a long way from here. So, but they're doing it in gradual stages, and they're adding areas, so hopefully my area gets done, you know, sooner than that, because it's really annoying. I mean, it's good enough like to watch streams and to do stuff, but when you want to actually do content and stream and, you know, do stuff at, you know, higher quality than this, it's hard to do without having a good internet connection. Let me see, what else we got up here? Okay, so Ben's answering Scott Connor's question about straps, which is good. Brad says, always, yeah, you gotta work tomorrow, Brady. I'm off tomorrow. I had a bunch of overtime that I needed to take before March 31st, and because I'm a manager or manager category at work, they don't, you know, I'd rather them just give me a check for the overtime, pay me cash or whatever, but because you're a manager you have to take it in time off, so I just took a bunch of Fridays. So I'm off tomorrow, so I figured, hey, why not? So I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I'll probably be doing some recording. I got to start recording this original stuff soon, because every time I come in here I'm always, you know, tinkering and playing with stuff and practicing and stuff, but I got to get these originals down and start to track some stuff very soon, get the drums figured out. That's the hard part for me. It's getting those drum tracks all exactly the way I want them, and get all the little fills and, you know, all that stuff. I'm not a drummer, so it doesn't make it easy. Okay. RT says, I bought a Levi's strap for my Les Paul. Yeah, good stuff, man. You got a beautiful guitar too. That Les Paul. Ben says it's 15-kilometer drive to Richie's place, so nice and close. Quentin James, I have an Epiphone Explorer. I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed and dirty. Don't feel ashamed, brother. Epiphones are awesome. The Explorer, I saw an Epiphone Explorer the other day, that red one. It's a signature edition one. I can't remember the guy's name, the signature, but it's the one that the Tone King has. It's really nice guitar actually. Brad says, hello, I was supposed to be boo damn autocorrect. Autocorrect. Are you watching on your phone or on your iPad there, Brad? I think you're turning Canadian Levi's straps and waiting a Rev. Yeah. Canadian companies, eh? Is R2 waiting for a Rev amp? Well, that'd be cool. I've never tried one of those amps. I don't see them around. I don't know if they've got a Canadian distributor. Well, I mean, they are Canadian, so, but I just wonder what store around here would carry them, because I didn't see them anywhere. And the biggest store is Cosmo, obviously, and you'd think it would be there. Hey, Janice. Janice Layla's in here. Stopping by to say hi. Don't have time to stay, but no problem. Will said, I sold the 59 Junior. Really? Okay. Janice says, I got hundreds of videos. I know. It's impossible to catch up, especially if you've got a lot of subs and you're watching a lot of content. That's the other thing. I watch so much stuff, you know, it's cutting into the time of actually recording, so got to balance the time out. Janice says, I've got 36 meg up and down. Well, yeah, well, you're lucky, because I think I get 20 something down and I'll say 1.5 up, and that's not constant. So yeah, it's not good. Proper internet, it's Canada. Bell Rogers monopoly won't allow it. I know, it's crazy. And if you live in the country trying to get a connection out here, it's like, forget it. You gotta take whatever they give you. Quentin James says my 1 meg service blows, but can't afford the 100 megs. Rat bastard. Well, your internet seems okay, Quentin, because you do some streaming and you're on the other streams on a regular basis, and it seems okay. But mine, it's really dependent on because in this neighborhood we all use the same service. Not that there's a lot of people in this neighborhood, but if everybody gets on and starts watching YouTube and everything else, then it can affect my internet. So if I'm trying to stream and I have to compete with all that other stuff, then I might run into some issues. So it really depends. Like in the afternoon I could stream and I think I'd have a pretty solid connection, because the kids that would be playing video games or something using the internet in this area would all be in school and stuff. So because I've done one in the afternoon at one time and it was really good. So I think it has a lot to do with that. So Ben says, I use Rich's internet to upload 2 vids before going live tonight. Saved me 4. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy. Some of the you'd think by 2019, where we are today, that everybody would have access to high speed and at least, you know, 10 meg up and 50 down at least. See ya, Janice. Thrash metal, what's going on, brother? Danny Allen says internet is expensive and keeps going up. I don't know where you are, Danny, but in the States it's a lot more competitive than it is down here. So you got, if you are in the States, and all of you that are in the States in the chat here really get a much better deal than we do, especially when it comes to cell phones and stuff. Oh my God, our data plans are just ridiculous. We pay hundreds of dollars for, you know, 7 gig a month or something crazy, where you guys would get unlimited. And then when, like, I'll be traveling to the States in a few weeks and I have to call Bell and tell them that I'm traveling and I need a roaming package of some sort, and then they just hose you on that. It's just crazy. I don't know, something needs to change, but it doesn't seem to be changing very quickly. Brad Egan says, oh, you're on a tablet. Yeah, so if you've got autocorrect on your... The other thing I don't like about... Well, I love my tablet and my phone and stuff and watching live streams on them, but in the chat, you know how you put at, you know, you say hi to somebody and you put at, and then you just start typing their name and it shows up and you hit enter and it populates it for you and you're off and running. But with the iPad and iPhone, you got to type the whole name out, and some of you guys got some freaking long names, like thrash metal and fun riffs and those things. You have to type that whole thing in order to make it work when you're on the iPad and iPhone. I wish they would fix that. The other thing I'd like to be able to do on the iPad is, on the computer, you're able to pop out the chat. So like right now I've got the chat in its own window here and it's popped out, and I can make it bigger and smaller and whatever. But in the iPad, unless I'm missing something, it doesn't give me that option. So I've got to have it, you know, the stream is running in a window and then I see the chat below or beside it, depending on how I set it up on the orientation of the viewer. But I'd rather be able to just pop it out the way it is on the computer here. Ben says, I believe revs are only sold online. Okay, so that would explain it. Sounds like my service, Quinton says. I know Flipside Music has rev amps. I'm sure there's some dealers that would have them, but like I said, I haven't seen them around. They seem to be, well, from what I've heard online and the ones that I've seen demoed, they've all been pretty high gain as far as the amp. Let me just put this, there we go. I don't know if you guys were hearing that static, but that was my amp. I put it on standby. I'll turn it back on later if I want to play. If you guys want to see a guitar or something, just let me know. I'll demo another guitar if you're... I've been playing this one a lot lately. This is the traditional Les Paul. I don't know, I'm kind of really liking this neck now. I used to play the standard more because it had a the 60s profile neck, and I don't know, I always played it, and I never really, that was my #1 guitar. But recently I've been really liking this neck more, and this is why I'm looking at the R9s now, because of that neck profile. And after I tried a couple over the last couple of weeks, I really like them. And I think, I don't know what it is, it's just I feel I can, dig in more, and I just feel more comfortable now. And then when I play the smaller necks, not that I don't feel comfortable in the smaller necks, it's different. So maybe it's just a phase, who knows. But yeah, so this is a traditional. I like this guitar a lot. This is my favorite color though on a Les Paul. It's that tobacco burst. And my second favorite color is the cherry burst, the more traditional one. So if I get an R9, I'm going to be looking at probably the cherry burst of some sort. If I can find one. They're hard to find. I'm looking for used ones, and there's not many. Well, there are some, but mostly in the States. Here in Canada, I think I've only found a couple that are reasonable as far as pricing. Will says, Brian, so are you still gigging or not? No, I am not gigging. The last gigs I did were with my last band, which was in 2008, and that was the band SMEER. And so I gigged all my life, pretty much, from being a teenager. I'd say from 14 years old to what was 2008 for me. That would have been 2008. I would have been 38, and that's when I stopped. So when that band finished, I said, okay, I need a break, and I took a break. I basically got out of music completely, sold all my gear, and yeah, I went 10 years without even playing. I did have a guitar in the house. I had a Tele that I bought in 2009 just to have something in the house, but I picked it up every 3 months or something. I'd take it out of the case and I'd strum a chord or two and I'd put it back. I never played it very much. So technically I've only been back into music and only been playing guitar, really, like technically playing guitar. I've always been able to, play a few chords and, write some songs when I was with SMEER, not writing anything leads or anything, just doing some rhythms or something like that. But technically I've only started playing guitar for real, like let's say in January of 2018. And that's when I got back. So no gigging, but I'm not opposed to gigging. It's just that, it would have to be the right fit, the right band. I don't think I'm into doing the whole small club scene and all that, just, I don't know. It would be a select thing for me if I joined a band and, they played maybe a few select shows per year, and it would be maybe more like summer festivals and things like that. But to go out on a week, like every weekend, doing the clubs and hauling all the gear back and forth, and I don't know if I'm into that anymore. It just depends on the situation, I suppose. Terry says there is a rev dealer in Ontario, Dark Side Sound, Ajax, Ontario. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Will says, yeah, I get unlimited internet for $39 a month. Oh my God. I pay for my internet, and I just told you how crappy the service is for my internet, and I don't get very much as far as bandwidth per month. I pay $100 a month. It's insane. And that's just for internet. That's not TV and phone and all that. That's just internet. It's crazy. They know they got you, because if it's the only service available in your area, they know you can't shop around and get a better deal because you want internet or you don't, type of thing. You're kind of very much locked in. Scott Connor says, small countries in Europe, Asia have faster average internet speeds than we do here in the US, and their data network is less, their data networks are less spread. Yeah, I don't know why that is. Someday we'll get good internet everywhere, but it'll take a while. Hey, Dano of New Jersey, what's going on? Nice to see you. You're saying you got rain in your area. Yeah, there's supposed to be some sort of, we're supposed to get some rain and some maybe light snow tomorrow sometime, or into tomorrow night or something like that, but it's hitting the East Coast, I think, more towards Montreal and up the East Coast, and maybe in the States and New York State and stuff, probably get some weird weather in the next couple of days apparently. But it's been very nice here in the last week or so. Spring is felt like spring today anyway, so I'm looking forward to, I think, another, if we can get a little bit of rain to clear the roads a little bit from the sand and salt and stuff from the winter, I give it another 3 weeks or so, and then I'll have the bike out. I hope, anyway. Let's see, Dan of New Jersey, Brian, do you like the asymmetrical necks? I have one, I like it a lot. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, I'm pretty good with different types of necks. It's not like I need to play, this is the neck style and I stay with that and that's the only type that I like. Different guitars, for some reason, it can be a thinner neck or a what, like, I don't know what it is. It could be the actual shape, the D shape or the C shape, or how it's laid out. I don't know, but it just depends on the guitar. It doesn't really, like, I can't play like the super thick necks. I tried a 58 Les Paul and that had a thicker neck than this, and that was a little bit like maybe extreme for me. But I had a Zach Myers edition PRS when I got back into music in just about a year ago or whatever. I found it and I picked it up and I liked it, and that's got a huge neck on it, but I didn't have a problem with it, so I'm kind of flexible with necks and things like that. Ben says, have you checked out the 12th fret for the art? No, I didn't check out 12th fret yet, but I am going to be looking around and going. I was planning to maybe go to Sweetwater for their event coming up in June. And the other thing I was looking to do, because me and my wife were talking about taking a vacation, going down to Nashville for a week, and just spending a week down there visiting and checking out, because I was there in Nashville for work one time and I didn't really have a chance to visit the city that much, but I did a little bit. But my wife wasn't with me back then, and we'd like to go back down and kind of explore a little bit more. And there I'm sure I see I could go right to Gibson if I wanted to. Or there's a really good guitar shop. Well, there's a lot of guitar shops down in Nashville, but there's one that's apparently really highly rated for Gibsons and stuff. So if maybe I would be able to buy one there at a reasonable price. The only problem is bringing it back into Canada, right? I'm not sure. Well, you probably, I don't know. You can try to get by without telling them, but I don't know. I don't know if you, and I don't know what the duties and stuff would cost on that. Terry, I've heard there are some profiles between 50s and 60s profiles on some LPs out there. It's possible. Hi, David Ennis. What's going on, brother? Denny says they were talking on Johnny Bean's channel about you, about how you forget stuff if you don't play for a while. I've had to relearn. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I do some cover songs on a regular basis, maybe a couple a month or something like that if I have time. But I don't know these songs. I just learn them for this purpose, and I learn them. I learn my parts, and I add my own parts. Try to make it my own as much as possible. The lead parts, I do my own thing, and then I'll run through it, and I'll do the whole recording, track the guitars, everything, and I'll record the video. But I come back a week later, and if I haven't played it since then, like I'll still remember parts of it, but I forget it. Like, I think the last song I did was the Foreigner song. Was it the Foreigner song? I think it was the Foreigner song. I'll still remember the basic like rhythm and stuff, but I forget a lot of stuff if I don't play them. When I played in the band, it was different because I practiced those same types of songs on a regular basis. We played them every weekend. It kind of gets ingrained in your psyche type of thing, so where everything is and what you're doing. But if you don't play them often, you just learn it, you record it and then you never play it again for months, and you come back to it, you kind of got to relearn it. So that's definitely the way I am anyway. I know when I played in the band, I was, pretty good with that stuff, and I remembered stuff for a long time, but because I played it over and over and over, and I played it at gigs, and it just, it's a lot different today. Terry says, yeah, my 150/15 unlimited cable is $76 a month through Tech Savvy in Chatham. Okay. Yeah, we can't get Tech Savvy in my area, not yet anyway. Brad says, I hear you about the bike. I'm dying here, not riding. I know, it's friggin', winter's too long, man. I don't know what I'll do when I retire, if I'm going to, I think I'd like to spend my winters somewhere where I can ride on a more regular basis. If I can afford it, I'd definitely get a place south or something and spend a few months in the winter down there, or rent a place or something. Winton says, my made in Mexico has perfect neck. My Explorer's neck is way too fat. Okay. Well, you could sell the Explorer and get another guitar with the profile neck that you like, I suppose. If you're not playing the Explorer, it's just sitting there collecting dust, and I think that's a good reason to move it and look at other options. Brad Egan says, saw 4 different bikes out yesterday. Really? Wow. Yeah, I don't think I'd take my bike out right now, even though the roads are fine as far as like no snow or ice or anything like that, but there's still a lot of sand and crap on the roads, man. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Not right now. I'd give it another couple of weeks at least. Ben says, I'm just happy most of the snow is gone. Yeah, we don't have any more snow here, so that's a good thing. I did speak with my mom, who's where I grew up from, is in New Brunswick, and they've got snow like piled up they're probably is going to have snow. The snow won't melt probably till the end of May there. It's crazy, the amount of snow they got, and there'll be a lot of flooding for sure, because that snow melts, it's got to go somewhere. I think Fredericton and some places will probably get some serious flooding this year. Will says, I understand that. I stopped gigging back in the 90s. It was hard to raise a family and work. Besides, a lot of people my age just didn't care anymore to play. Although it's cool to still play. Yeah, I hear you, Will. It's just a different time. That's the other thing, right? When I was gigging with the bands that I gigged with anyway, and like specifically in the 90s and 2000s, there seemed to be more places to play, and a lot of the bars that we played, like, they were set up for bands. I mean, there was a PA, there was a sound man, there was, a fair stage. Not all of them were big stages, but they had some sort of staging. But now, like, the places that I've seen, and, I go out once in a while to see a band play, and I went out to see Guitar Hack on Sunday, and, I see other people playing, but they're just smaller little, like, pubs and stuff, and bands are having to bring, everything, their own PA, and it's not really set up for bands. It's just, we're going to have a band today, and, you're on your own type of thing. So it's a different scene. It really is. I don't know. I know that some of the bigger tribute bands, like I saw a Leonard Skinner tribute band not too long ago, and they were playing like a small theater. It wasn't a big club or anything, but it was kind of more set up like a theater, maybe 1,500 seat theater, and it had, quite a bit of people there, but they had a nice PA, and it looked like a concert. Like, it was really, really cool. I like that type of thing. But I know what you mean. It's different too, right? I don't know if, I don't know, I'm not in the scene, so I don't know how many people are going out to see live music as much as they were back in the 90s and early 2000s. It was a different scene. Quentin says, I'm looking to sell the Explorer and get some lighting. Yeah. No, Quentin, I say you stick with your current lighting setup. I think it's your thing, man. Just roll with it. You're the man, international man of mystery, Quentin James. keep it that way. Maybe that's your thing, man. But no, if you do want lighting, you don't have to sell your Explorer. You can get a couple of lights and stands and stuff for now on Amazon, probably like 40-50 bucks. I think you can get a set that would be just fine for, you know, for what you're looking to do. Didn't Derek say he was going to send you some light or something today on his live? He says he has a bunch, or he was going to send you. But yeah, you don't need a lot, just a little bit. Quentin, ever thought about getting a different replacement neck for it? Wow, yeah, I don't know, Scott Connor, if that at that point I might just try to sell the guitar and get something else. But I don't know, some people might be into that, because the Explorer is not a set neck, like it's not a bolt-on, so that'd be quite the procedure to do. I wouldn't attempt it. Denny says, I wrote each of my songs on the back of a business card. I shuffle the cards to keep playing all the songs, but never in the same order. It breaks monotony and adds a little fun. That's a good idea. Yeah, change it up, right? You kind of never know what's going to come up when you're dealing your cards, eh? And then all of a sudden you have played your whole set. Mix it up. Whatever works for you, man. Ben says, yeah, it's DIY these days, PA and lights. See, that's the thing, man. I don't know if I'd be into that. It's just too much. Like when you're used to just showing up with your amp, and like for me it was my basses and my amp, and that was enough gear for me, and then you just get on stage, plug, and the sound guy comes up and either plugs you into a DI or mics your cab, and you do a sound check and you're off and running. That's what I don't know if I want to get in there with a whole PA set up. And I used to do that when I was a teenager. Brad knows. I don't know if Brad is still in here, but Brad used to do sound for us for one of the bands that I had when I was playing as a teenager. And he would bring the PA and he would set it up and stuff. And you know, that was a lot of work, man. And you're not really making a lot of money at these gigs now anymore. I think you're lucky to walk out with $100 a member, if that. So, and it's not about money, I know that. If you enjoy it and you love playing live and stuff, then I think you do it because you enjoy it. But if it becomes like something that is a lot of work for very little return and nobody in the audience, I don't know. It's just me, I guess. Scott says, oh, I didn't realize it was neck through. Yeah, it's like a Gibson Les Paul, I think, an Explorer's. That's the way the necks are set up on those. Lighting, a light will work. Yeah, you don't need much light. Quentin James, you need electricity first. Good point. Good point. Quentin says, in the 90s, we'd play for 500 to 1,500 3 nights a week, but it's just to be too much work when you have a 50-hour week, mortgage. I wasn't getting, yeah, I know, right? That's exactly right. When I played, we were always getting at least 6, well, SMEER anyway, pretty much always got 6 to 1,000 per gig, and that was divided into 4 guys, you know. So, and we usually played 2 gigs a week. So, you know, it's if I was making $500-600 a week just doing gigs, that wasn't bad. Plus I had my, like, you know, I had my full-time job and everything else. So we'd play sometimes Thursday nights, but most of the times they were Friday, Saturdays. So, you know, it was worth it. But I think today the clubs are not paying bands a lot, and sometimes they're not paying anything. I think bands are actually paying to play in some places. It's crazy. Let's see, Marsman. I had the same experience and really got tired of hauling all the gear. It's a grind, man. Some people don't realize how much work it is. I used to get the you know, the friends that would be into music, that didn't play music but like to go see bands and like to listen to music and stuff, would always, you know, oh, you're so lucky, Brian, you're out on these stages playing and it's great and stuff. But they see that whatever time you're on stage and having fun and all that, but after that's done or before that, they don't see all the work before getting there, hauling all this shit, getting all this stuff set up, and then when the gig's done, taking everything down, you know, making sure, and then driving home. And sometimes we would play 2-3 hour drives and getting back home, you know, whatever, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and unloading all your shit. Like, there's a lot of work involved in some of this stuff that people don't see. They just see the fun parts, which is being on stage and playing and having a crowd in front of you. And yeah, that's what you do it for. But there's a lot of work leading up to that and after that, and then on all the rehearsals during the week, or there's tons of stuff. Let's see. Even living in a college town, the live music scene around here isn't great. Yeah, see? And I don't know too much about the live scene anymore because I've been out of it for so long, but I can just go by what people tell me, some of the guys that are still doing it. And from the stuff that I've seen myself, it doesn't look like it's as active as it used to be. There used to be a lot more clubs to play that were dedicated to live music. Now it's more like, you know, a few of them around, not as much. So, but it is what it is, and that's part of things changing. Maybe it'll come back, right? I don't know. Maybe there'll be a resurgence of live music venues and fans, and it'll start to bring more business into bars, and bar owners and business owners will start to see the benefits of having live bands again and start to build the scene the way that it used to be. We can hope. I don't know. We shall see. I'm gonna do this here. Let's see, Ben. I'm gonna do that. There you go. It's a long night loading in and out and all the extra stuff, but it's fun and magic when everyone, well, that's the thing, you know, when you have a really good night and the band's in sync, everything's cool, everything, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And you know, that's what you play for. It's those moments. But you know, those moments are not all, as you know, Ben, it's not always like that. So as long as you can live with that balance, then it's fine. Okay. So maybe we'll play a song or something. I don't know. You guys want to? I don't know if I should try a different guitar. I'm trying to see what's. Let's see. Let me put this. So right now, well, here's the aux and the Mesa Boogie. So that's a Mesa. Let me switch over to the Helix. Helix, where is it? 1, 2. So that's the helix. We'll go back to the aux, and you guys tell me which one you like better. That's the aux. There you go. So I think the helix volume is louder, so I can turn that. Where's my helix? Over here. Turn it down a bit, but there's definitely a difference, right? I'm sure you guys can hear that. Let me know if you guys noticed a difference on there. Just looking at the chat. Friedman, you want the Friedman? I can get a Friedman if you'd like. Just give me 1 second. Brad Egan says live won't work anymore. You need to YouTube stream your band into the bar and people will watch. Yeah, that's exactly right. Eh? It's a different world. No, there's an ideal, yeah. Which Scott says, which Mesa do you have? I have the Triple Crown 50 is the model that I have. Nathan, man, what's going on? I think I saw you left a comment on one of my videos today. Thank you very much. That's much appreciated. Nah, Mesa. So R2 says he likes the Mesa more than the Helix. Okay, that's good to know. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you said I meant play one of his Friedmans. Yeah. I'll pick up the Friedman in a sec. Without the aux for me. Okay, well, let me just do that again because I've adjusted the volume. Let me check the volume. Yeah, so hold on, the Helix is still louder. Okay, so that's the Helix, okay? I'm going to play the Helix right now. That was Helix. Here's aux. There you go. So you should, they're pretty close in volume, but they're definitely different tone-wise. Ben says, okay, so James Severin, how's it going? He says Helix. Ivan Carter says Helix too. Wow, you got more Helix, eh? Different tone stack, yeah. Yep, the Helix sounds thicker. Sup, Brian? Oh, is this might be Bob Adler. What's going on? If that's Bob, let me know. Adler Guitars Works. Nathan says, what is he playing through? I'm playing through a couple of different things. One is, this is a Mesa Boogie triple crown going into the aux, and in the aux I'm using a 412 cab with a couple of mics on it. That's the Mesa with the aux on. So let me go back to the Helix. So that's the difference between the two. They're different. Huh? That's all it is. And it also sounds a little different here than, like, I'm hearing it a little, it sounds a little thicker for me, but going through YouTube, you're definitely going to get a little compression. So, so it's not exactly what I'm hearing. R2 says fizzy tubes. Okay. No comparison, Helix wins, Marsman. Wow, okay. Well, that's interesting. Some of you like the Helix more. Helix has more clarity overall. The aux sounded a bit like, sounded more like mids. Okay, more mid. All right, tubes. So R2 likes the tubes all the way. I vote for Helix. Helix, tubes. I'd say Mesa now for sure. Okay, so see, Ben changed. That's right. Hey there. Okay, yeah, so that is Bob Adler. How's it going, Bob? It was nice seeing you on the weekend there at the Cosmo and talking with you. That was always nice to talk to old friends and actually guitar players. And I didn't buy a guitar, by the way, Bob. I just bought a guitar Strat. And what else did I buy? Oh, I bought some picks. I love these new picks. These are Dava picks. I don't know if you can see this. It's hard to see on the camera here, but I love these picks. They've got kind of like this little rubber grip on it, and the pick is exactly, as far as the gauge, I don't know what the gauge is, but I really like it. But I did try that. They had a Gibson Custom Shop RO, so that would be the 60s version. That's they didn't have a 59 there at Cosmo, but they did have that 60s, and I played that for a while, and I really liked it as well. Denny Allen says they sound different, but I like both. Yeah, they're both really good. It just depends, right? That's why I like play them in a mix. Okay, I can do that. I like having both options because when I'm recording originals and stuff, I always record a couple of tracks of guitar. Like I'll have a couple of lead tracks, a couple of rhythm tracks or whatever. So it's nice to blend tones and have the option of using that. Let me pick a, I don't know, let me see what I got for backing tracks here. I don't know what these things are. I've got a couple of things. What's this one? So let me play with that, but the first part I'll just play a little bit with it, and I'll play with, this will be the Mesa with the aux, and then I'll play a little bit with this same track using the Helix. All right, here we go. So that was with the aux. So let's do part of that. Let me just take this strap, put it over here for a second. I don't know what it is when I play sitting down. I can't play with the strap. It's always in the way. All right, so that was with the aux. Let's go back, bring that back. Same track, we'll go to Helix. Here we go. All right, let's see, can you hear me? All right, so what's the verdict? Let me go back. What's the verdict? Is it Helix or is it Mesa? You guys tell me. First time we played through the track, I was playing the Mesa with the aux speaker simulation, and the second time we ran through the track, I was using the Helix. And I did switch from neck to bridge pickup during both. So R2 says that sounds sweet. Okay, that's cool. The traction control for your guitar pick, sweet. I have to try some out this weekend. I always have a hard time keeping my current. Yeah, I know, man. Until I tried these picks here, it's like, wow. These are my favorite picks now. Definitely try them out. Jeff Healy sounding. Okay. Scott Connors says, yeah, I tried the Petrucci flows. Try the regular ones next time. Yeah, I'm new to these Dava picks, man. It was like, I never tried them before, but now that I've tried them, I'm gonna definitely, I don't even know like the different types of, if there are a lot of different types of these or whatever, but I'm going to try the other ones as well. But these ones I picked up, they were like a multi-pack. There's a bunch of different styles in them, I guess, but every one I've tried so far I've really liked. So I'm definitely going to stick with those for a while. Scott says that was mighty nice tone, Brian. Thank you. Kind of sounds like Jeff Healy combined with Bill. Well, the Billy Gibbons thing is definitely my style. That's a tone that, you know, for me anyway, that I really love. So if it's sounding a little bit like that, I'm happy. I still like the Helix, and I'm a tube guy. Okay, Marsman, well, that's good to know. Will says great tone. If it's the Helix, Helix all the way. Well, like I said, the first time through the track, it was the aux and the Mesa, and the second time I ran the track, it was the Helix. So the Helix had less background noise, made it sound clearer. Well, there's definitely a little bit more background noise using the Mesa and the aux box, because that Mesa is cranked right now. Like, it's so you're getting, it's on the gain channel, not the high gain, but the mid gain or whatever. So you're definitely going to hear more out of that for sure. But it's also because I'm facing my monitors and I'm getting a lot of electrical type of static. With the Helix, there's less of that because it's solid state basically, and it's not as, you know, I'm not cranking it. It's a different beast altogether. So I get a little bit less noise interference. When I do record with my Mesa, I'm not facing this way, so I'm not getting all this static. I'm kind of either over in that corner or back there, and I get a lot less noise. And I've got a noise gate as well that I can adjust that a little bit. Because right now you're probably hearing some static a little bit through the, and if I shut, see, that's gone. So I'm not concerned too much with the noise, because when I'm recording and stuff, I deal with that and I don't have that issue. But right now you're probably hearing it. Adler says those flow picks are definitely the deal. Okay. James Severins, oh, thank you, James. It's nice of you. I'm just an average guitar player, man. I'm just a hack trying to get by. But thank you, I really appreciate the compliment. Scott Connor says Helix still, but there's a bit less noticeable difference over the back. Yeah, so in a mix, it's different, right? And that's one of the reasons that the Mesa is set the way it is, and it's probably a little, well, it sounds a little thinner by itself. It's because I needed to cut through the mix when I'm recording and stuff. I don't want it to play in the same frequency as the bass and, you know, the bass drum and everything else. So that frequency, I kind of like to keep it for those instruments. And when I play guitar, I want to occupy a different space in the mix. So that's why I have it set that way, so that even when I'm not playing with a mix and I'm just practicing and stuff, I like to hear it the way that I'll be tracking it. So it is set a little differently. The Helix is probably, like, I haven't played with it in a while since I've gotten the aux, so I probably have it set a little bassier, maybe a little thicker sounding, but that's why I have it set that way. It's definitely to accommodate better in a mix, and when I'm playing just by itself, I want to get used to that sound so that when I am mixing, that it doesn't seem foreign to me, right? But we get a lot of people saying still the Helix. Ben says Mesa, there's more noise, but that's part of the mojo. Yeah, exactly, because that Mesa is cranked right now. If I, like, there's a speaker cabinet back there, and I don't know if you can see it, probably not, but there is a 212 Mesa back there, and that's not even hooked. Well, it's hooked, but through the aux, I've got that turned off. If I turn that on, Jesus Christ, well, I can't do it, the wife's sleeping, and that would be like way too much. It'd blow this place apart, because that amp is like at 9 or 10 right now. It's crazy. But I get that tone, and I'm not concerned with the noise that you guys are hearing, because again, it's just because I'm facing this way, and I'm just playing right now. But if I'm set up for recording, I'm not hearing so much of that noise. Let's see. The playing is too good to pick. Oh, thank you, Denny. But it's just a different tone. That's all it is. Play a Mesa Boogie and your life will change forever. Exactly. I still want to get a Friedman amp, though. I've tried a couple of Friedmans, and before I got the Mesa, and I did want the Friedman. I almost bought a Runt 50, I think they had there, and I really liked that amp, but it was limited in all the tones it had. It kind of had its own thing. With the Mesa, I've got 3 channels, and they're quite different, all 3, and I can, you know, get a nice clean sound. I can get a mid-gain, more classic rock sound, and I can get the really high gain stuff. So it had more versatility, so that's why I went with the Mesa right now. But someday I'd like to add a Friedman in here in this studio, because it has its own character and its own thing, right? It's more, I guess, more Marshall-y type thing, maybe. So it'd be a nice addition to the studio. So someday, but they're not cheap. And I tried a BE Deluxe 50, but man, that thing was, I think they wanted like $4,500 for that. It's insane, the pricing of these amps. But I get it. I mean, there's work that goes into putting that stuff together, so I'm not discounting that, but it was too much for what I wanted to spend on an amp. Will says, I enjoy all styles. My humbucker Telly has been my #1 for a while. Cool. Hey, Todd Flowers, what's going on, man? Quentin James must be napping. I don't know where Quentin James went. Showman Blues, what's going on? Good to see you. I'm just getting through the chat here. Adler says, I hear you. I was a jazz guy too. I'm pretty sure that's coming down the road. Yeah, you might be going back to being jazz. You never know. Showman Blues. I'm just going down, make sure I get all your questions. But I'm surprised that, well, not surprised that a lot of you prefer the Helix over the Mesa and the Aux, but it's good to get that feedback as well. The Flow is my nickname, and those are my signature picks. Right on, Todd Flowers. Adler says, okay, sounds good. Good stuff. Thanks, okay. All right, so I think I'm caught up in the chat. All right, so let me see if I can do something else here. Another quick test for you guys to hear. Again, I've got all these backing tracks on my phone here, and I just kind of go on iTunes and I download a bunch of them, and then I kind of listen to them after. So I'm not really sure which ones are which and how they sound. So I'm just going to kind of click on a few of them here. All right, so that was, again, the Mesa. Let me grab another guitar. Let's see what the difference is with that. Maybe I'll try the, somebody said Friedman earlier, so let me grab one of those. Oops, I better hit the standby. Okay, I got headphones on and cables, so let's hope that I don't destroy the studio as I get up here. Come on, really? Where is this cable coming from? All right, there's that. I can put this here, and I'll grab the Friedman Vintage S. All right, let's grab this guy. And take off the strap. And I'll put this here and hit this. All right, so very different guitar. Let me make sure that I'm in tune. All right, let me see what we got. We've got a, what is this one? No, this maybe. No. Oh, sorry, I gotta turn on my mic. All right, so that was the, not the Helix, but the Mesa with a Friedman Vintage S humbucker, 2 single coils, and it's very different sounding, obviously, than my Les Paul. It's probably sounding a lot thinner as well when it's played on its own, but when in a mix, it cuts through. So now let me switch to the Helix. Helix. See, that sounds very different. All right, Adler. have a good night, brother. Thanks for jumping in. And you get all the regular Strat sounds, obviously. So that's with the Helix, actually. I don't know. I don't mind. I don't mind either one, actually, because they just have a different tonal quality. But I don't know. I always keep going back to the Mesa. I feel more. Well, for me anyway, when I'm playing it in here, I feel more of the tube compression and the way it reacts to my playing is different than playing with the Helix. That's all. Sorry, I keep forgetting to hit my mic. I don't know, I like the Mesa feel a lot more for in here anyway. Let me just move this stupid cable. Man, I gotta find a solution for these headphones. I need some wireless setup or something for headphones. 'Cause I hate having that cable. But this one is a lot more. You'll hear a lot more noise, especially when I'm facing this way with these monitors when I hit the single coils. See that? Depending on where I am. But I kind of like this. Like if I turn this way, I'm okay. Right? This one's way noisier, but it's because I'm facing these monitors and stuff with these single coils. That's just the way it goes. Will says, okay, the Strat's out. How about some Stevie Ray or Eric Gale? Stevie Ray or Eric Gale, okay. I might know a couple. I think I like the Mesa better on the Friedman. Okay, interesting. Okay. Some guitars will sound better with the Mesa than the Helix, I guess. Never heard the Helix in the mix. Okay, well, let's do that. Here's the Helix. Let me put it in the mix now. Let me find something to put it in. What is this? Did I put... So that was playing with the Helix in the mix. So I think it was Marsman that was asking for that. There you go. So this is still with the Helix. That's a humbucker. I really like this humbucker that's in this guitar. It's a... I don't know, I like the sound of that humbucker a lot. Okay, so we covered the Helix in a mix, we covered the Mesa in a mix, we covered the Mesa with the Les Paul, and we covered the Mesa with this guitar, the Friedman. So, gives you an idea, you know, they are different beasts altogether. I don't, you know, the Helix is good for some stuff, the Helix is, or the Mesa is better for some other stuff. It feels different in the room when you're playing with the guitar, obviously. So, yeah, it's just a preference thing, really. But they're both very good tools to have in the studio. You know, I don't regret having either one. So, let me see. Oh crap! I gotta go check out a stomp in person. Damn it! A stomp. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna have to. That's the thing with these Helix things. They sound really good, and they might work in your setup, whatever you're playing with your guitar, but you should try them. And if you have a music store that has a good policy as far as like returns and things like that, go and pick one up and try it for a couple of weeks and see if you like it. Maybe before you go and pick it up, watch a couple of videos on some of the setups and download some of the patches that some of the guys have already made for them. So check out sites like Jason Sedites, and you know, Eric from EVH obviously has a lot of information on Helix stuff. Check out some of these guys first, and you know, download some patches and get your head around how the menus work a little bit, and then go pick one up at a music store and try it out for a couple of weeks. I'm sure, you know, then you'll know for sure if it works for what you're looking for and it's the type of thing you like. Yeah, I saw that Todd Flowers says that Rhett Shull was telling about Dwight Yoakam's crew asking about the Helix. Yeah, they were impressed because that's what he used on that tour there, that recent tour he did. He just used the Helix. So Terry, awesome playing. Thank you, Terry. Marsman, I've never been a solid state guy, but damn it, they're very good. I think the modeling has come a long way. And once you've got them set up properly, like I use pretty much the same patch that I've got set up on my Helix here for 90% of the stuff that I do. I've set it up where I like it that way. I've got a nice clean, a nice crunch, a nice lead sound, and I've got a couple of effects added on it that I can turn on and off, such as choruses and vibes and things like that. And you know, it does everything I need. So there's hundreds of options and stuff, but you find what works for you and you stick with that stuff, then you're not going to have to go through all these menus and all. You can try everything, but you don't have to use everything. You just use what works for you. I'm that way. So I'm just going to see that here's a clean sound. That's a little bit of the clean sound. That's one thing the Helix does very well, probably better than anything else I have in the studio, is the clean stuff. So when I do recording and I track guitars, when I need a clean sound, I definitely go to that, to the clean sound of the Helix, because with that, you know, right now I've got a little bit of tremolo on there and some delay, right? Let me put this in. And then I can take off the univibe and I can put chorus on it, you know. So yeah, it's definitely got a nice clean sound for sure. Yeah, it can do the sanitarium tone no problem with that, with the Helix. So the Helix gives you a lot of flexibility, that's for sure. If you want to play with tones and you want to try different things, it definitely gives you that. I'd say the only thing I'd say with the Helix or the Stomp or anything like that, it's worth investing in like going to Celestion.com or Onammer.com and buying an IR pack. Just pick something that, you know, has cabinets and stuff that you like. They're not very expensive. I think you can buy a pack for maybe 15, 20 bucks or something like that. Maybe a little bit more depending on the pack that you pick. But I find if you get third-party IRs and things like that, they sound way better than the stock Helix cabs that come with the Helix. Not that the Helix cabs don't sound good, they do, but you'll definitely get better results with the IRs. So that would be one of my recommendations if you're looking at getting one. Todd Flower says, I know, Ben, it's been a long time, but I still get it. And Terry's answering Marsman's question there. I think he said, yeah. Todd says, Denny Allen, it's on 2 separate channels because one froze towards the end. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but okay. I like that one, very Jimmy. Yeah, if you put the vibe pedal on or whatever, the Univibe, you can definitely get those Jimi Hendrix kind of vibey tones. digging those cleans. Yeah, the cleans, man, are just amazing in the Helix. You can do some really cool stuff, and they're dead on. Like, it's stuff you do with it, and depending on the guitar you play through it, it's going to change too, right? With the Strat, you're going to get Strat tones, and with a Les Paul and stuff, you're going to get that type of thing. Marsman says, well, there must be somewhere out here. Gotta go, peeps. All right, man. Have a good one, Marsman. We've got Anderson Cassiano. Nice to see you. Nice tremolo, like Money by Pink Floyd. Yeah. Dawkins. Yeah, you can do Dawkins stuff with it. No problem. I used to know some Dawkins. I don't know if I still do. Helix is very consistent modulation throughout the total range. Dano from Jersey says, yeah. The thing with the Helix is that when they model their amps, they really go into depth, and they get a lot of precise nuances out of those amps. I mean, definitely if you take a Helix and you set it up properly, and then you take whatever amp it's modeling and put it side by side and listen to them, there's definitely going to be a little bit of a difference, but they've come a long way as far as giving you some of that tube sound and the reaction and some of that squishy compression that you get out of a tube amp. They've gotten a lot better at that, because I remember using long time ago, my buddy, the guitarist in our band, had a pod, like a really old ones, the first ones that came out and stuff, and they really, like, I mean, they could do chorus and things like that, but when it came to any type of modeling or distortion and stuff, it was crappy, so I never got into them. What else we've got? Will says, wow, I don't think I can afford a Helix. Will says, well, I've got the Helix LT. It's not the, like, you have the Helix, the regular one that has all the digital displays on the front panel and stuff. The Helix LT is kind of a stripped down version of that, without having those displays right on the board, but it's the same engine, it's the same thing, has a few less outputs, like the Helix floor will have like extra sends and receives and things, but if you don't need that, it's fine. Like, I use my Helix LT, and it's quite a bit less expensive than the full-blown Helix regular, whatever they call it, so you can save yourself some money there. And then the other thing is, you know, go with a Stomp. And the Stomp, the only thing with the Stomp is that you're limited to 6 blocks in your chain as far as when you're setting up a patch, but that's not really that bad a limitation. With 6 blocks, you can pretty much set up any sound you want, so it's just a matter of playing with it. Tremolo, chorus, and delay. Yeah. What pickup do you use on the bridge? Well, all these pickups that are in here are Friedman's. It's like, so this is a Friedman guitar, and they're the pickups that come with it, and Friedman makes his own pickups, and they are quite spectacular, because I've got another Friedman back there, the Telly with P90s, and it's the same thing. They make great pickups. They're very, very well known for their pickups and their sound. So, well, their guitars are amazing. I mean, these necks are like insane. They're rounded on the edges here, so it makes them feel almost like broken in, and they're so comfortable. And the pickups, yeah, like I said, they're a lot of people like them a lot. Hey, Todd, AKs, you gotta take off, no problem, right? So let me, I'm trying to think if I can try something else that would, want me to try a SMEER Telly through this system? And that'll give you an idea of what that's like. Let me hit the standby on this, get rid of some of that noise. All right. Okay, I'm gonna have to take these headphones off for a minute. So I'm just gonna put this guitar, and then I'll grab the Telly. So it'll give you a few different things to look at. Let me just put that back there without it falling. That'd be great. All right, now I gotta move this light out of the way and grab the SMEER Telly, which is basically your standard type of Telly setup with the same type of pickup configuration and so forth. Again, really nice guitar. I like it a lot. Let me see. I put that here. And I'll put my headphones back on without destroying this set here. I gotta get more comfortable headphones too, because these things, after you wear them for an hour or more, you feel it. So definitely. Todd Flower says Friedman Telly. Well, this is a SMEER Telly, and this is a standard Telly type of setup as far as the pickups, right? I'll pick up the Friedman after the Friedman Telly, and that Friedman Telly has P90s in it. So this is more of your standard Telly tone, and then I'll show you what the Friedman is like. Let's just tune up here quickly. So I'm still playing through the Helix right now. So you get the idea, right? Let's try a track with our Telly here, and then I'll put it through the Mesa and the aux as well. Right now it's still going through the Helix. Let's see what this is. So there you go, you get the idea, right? So let me switch to right here. That one. Am I still? Yeah, I'm still on there. Here we go. That's with the aux. It's pretty similar, actually. That's helix. So let's try that in a mix. Rock A. Let's see what that's all about. So that gives you an idea. That's going through, what am I going through? Going through the Mesa right now. So let me shut that off and go back to the helix. And let's do a slow blues. What's that all about? right, so you get the idea. SMEER telly with telly stand, well, steady, or they're SMEER pickups, but they are telly style, let's say. And that was going through the helix, this last part that I just did. So I think with the telly and that patch, I like it a lot with the telly. But with the aux and going back and forth with the aux and the helix with the telly, they're pretty similar. So let me grab the Friedman with the P90s, and then you'll see that's another huge difference, right? So give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Oh my God, I got so many cables and crap. Okay, here we go. I'll move this and move this. I'm telling you folks, there's too many cables and things to get around in this studio. All right, so that's good. I'll grab this guy. Okay. So yeah, this one's got noisier pickups obviously than the last couple that we had, because they are P90s. They are quiet. They are more quiet, I should say, than the Gibson P90s, but they are still P90s. So, all right, let's see. This patch cord. Mute that. All right. All right, Daniel from New Jersey. I'm almost ready to get off here, so we're going to do this last guitar, run through a couple of setups, and we'll call it a night. But thanks for hanging in there, guys, with me. That was awesome tonight. I wasn't planning to do anything, but hey, worked out. Little Thursday night shenanigans. All right, well, let's see how much noise this thing makes. All right, I'm gonna tune this beast up. Tune her up, boys. Come on, right there. All right. Let's see what that's like. Oh yeah, this is P90 territory. Let me go to the clean patch first, see what that sounds like. So that's using both pickups. So let me go to, I might be making noise with this mic here. Sorry guys. Give me just 1 second. Stupid mic. Okay. All right, this is the bridge pickup. And there's the middle position, which is both pickups. Here's the neck pickup. All right, and let's go to something to jam along with. I can figure this one out. Medium shuffle in E. What's that all about? Let's see what that's about. Nah, it's gotta be something better. So you guys can hear that. Man, yeah, that when I put it on the bridge pickup, it's definitely noisy when you're facing this way, that's for sure. All right, let's do this. there you go. What do you think of the P90 Friedman guitar? So yeah, so it gave you a good idea of what we got going on with helixes and mesas and aux boxes and different types of guitars going through them, and they all sound good and they all sound unique and they all have their own thing, and it's just about finding what works for you. Let me see. Brian's still on, yeah. All right, so we are 2 hours live, which is awesome, and I think I'm going to go to bed now. Thanks for joining me, guys. And again, I was really coming on to test this camera to see if it would stay running for the whole time that I was on, because last time, oh my God, this mic is still, all right, good. Yeah, last time I did my Monday show, the camera was acting all wonky on me, so I needed to give it a good test to see with these new cables if that fixed the problem, which it looks like it seems to have fixed it. So, all right, folks, thank you for joining me. I will be back on sometime. I don't know when. Well, I'll definitely be on Monday at 7:30. That will be the last Monday that I'm on at 7:30. The Monday following that, which is April 1st, I believe, I'll be starting at 7 on Mondays. And yeah, so it should be good. I might go live again sometime on the weekend. Again, I'm trying some new things out, so you'll get a notification or something, I'm sure. And if you guys want to jump in, cool. If you got questions, save them up, and let's go through them next time I'm on. And that's it. All right, R2, Ben, Todd, Terry. Who else we've got left in here? I think some people have left. Danny Allen, Dan of New Jersey, Anderson, Mark Dillon. Thanks for joining, and we will catch you, Scott Connor, next time. And yeah, hope you had fun. It's always fun to play with gear and jam and do all that fun stuff, you know what I mean? So have a good night, folks, and I will catch you next time.